Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Live streaming is here for you. I'm delighted that we can share the Shabbat together, sharing beautiful prayers, inspiring music, and an important message. As the week continues and Shabbat begins, please accept my very best wishes for good health, much life, and greater peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos to each of you. As we take our places in the sanctuary, we set aside what has surely been a very busy week. From a flood in Houston without flood season, Texan Day, and so many issues around the world. This is truly our place to begin the Sabbath day, a day of rest and joy and greater peace. I thought tonight, especially as we've experienced joy and sorrow this week in our congregational family and all the rest, that we might begin on page 7 in our prayer book as we set aside what has been so busy this week and look forward to this time together. As we ask, where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will we recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will we ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let us keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let us be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help us to withdraw for a while from the flights of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let us learn to pause, if only for this day. Let us find peace on this day. Let us enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. And so let's continue as we welcome each other with song.
We continue with the singing of Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Please join us. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharit, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech Malchi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharit, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zichem Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharit, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now we turn to page 2 and 3. It's a privilege to invite Lee Moore Smith to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
We continue now with our call to worship, Baruch Hu, on page 146. Please rise.
Baruch
Page 148, responsively. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Page 150, together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Together, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Tefillah continues on page 155 and 156. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Me'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo V'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah.
Responsively, we pray that we might know before whom we stand, the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live, having implanted within us an eternal spirit.
We pray for winds to disperse the air of sadness, for rains to make parched hopes rise again.
We pray for love to encompass us, for no reason save that we are human, that we may blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives.
We pray to stand upright, we fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray to be open to our own true selves. We pray that we may walk in a garden of purpose, in touch with the power of the world.
Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women rise again. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yichalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Page 163, responsively. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Together, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, ba'shalom.
Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim.
We pause for a few moments of silent prayer.
our prayers and songs on Shabbat. Enable us to feel what we need to feel for the sake of healing of body, mind, and spirit. That it's not only our healing, but also those who are recuperating at home or in the hospital tonight. And especially this night, we're thinking of Jerry Harris, Karen Rockland, and John Harris. For them and for all who are dear to us, we share now a Misha Berach, a prayer for their health and well-being. The words can be found on page 253. Please join us. Shabbat is a time to give thanks to God for the gifts of our life. And one of those gifts is reflected in love and marriage. And in just about a week, a young couple will enter the chuppah to begin their life together. And I'm so pleased to invite to the bima now for a betrothal blessing, Ali Aronowitz and Andrew Green. Please come and join me here. Welcome. Makor ahava v'chayim, source of all life and love, Ali and Andrew come into your presence, seeking your blessing on their love, their home, and their marriage. We pray that as you enter the chuppah and share vows between you, that they will only deepen your promise and commitment to each other that you've already begun to celebrate. And that your hearts will always be turned in greater patience and understanding in all the years ahead of you. And mostly that your home will be for you a mikdash ma'at, a small sanctuary dedicated to God, to Torah, to our people. And as the road unfolds in front of you, it should be filled with all your dreams, your hopes, your wishes for friendship, love, companionship, and peace. And as I've come to share time with you, and as this congregation is no stranger to either one of you, now you begin together as a couple. It'll be my pleasure to be under the chuppah with you and to bless you on that day. So I'll reserve a blessing for that day as I invite the congregation now to join me in reciting our prayer of gratitude for the joy, for the good wishes that we want for you. We say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'achiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu v'azman hazeh. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruling Spirit of the universe, who has kept us in life and sustained us and brought us together to share such joy. Amen. Mazel tov to you. I look forward to being with you. And mazel tov to your family tonight. And Ali and Andrew, tonight we also celebrate quinquennial anniversary of marriage, the multiple of 5 years of marriage that come around so quickly or over a long time. And if we get it just right, it's incredibly sweet. And so these couples responded to our invitation for such a blessing tonight, and as I call their names, I invite them to join me here on the bima so we can also extend this special anniversary blessing to them. Amy and Bradley Chesnick, celebrating 5 years. And as Bradley comes forward, where's Bradley? Oh, Bradley, I forgot. Forgive me. A member of our Board of Trustees in a seat of honor. And Bradley is here. Amy is at home. They have a child who needs her attention, and not that Bradley doesn't give all their children special attention, but how nice of you to be here to represent you as a couple. Margot and Rabbi Seth Stander, celebrating 20 years. Anne and Ronald Loftman, celebrating 35 years. Come and join us. Peggy and Robert Portnoy, celebrating 50 years. I'd say so. And we celebrate Joyce and Joe Chesnick Sr., celebrating 75 years of marriage. And Joe, we'd like you to come as close as you can, and we acknowledge that Joyce, your beloved bride, and a dear beloved soul in our congregation, a past president of our congregation, is at home tonight, I hope live streaming, to watch you, her dear groom, receive a blessing on this special night. And I'd like to give to Robert and Peggy, on the occasion of 50 years, a token from the congregation wishing you well and mazel tov, that you should continue to love each other dearly. And Joe, for you and Joyce, what an honor, what a pleasure to see you tonight and to bless you. I'm going to put that here for you. And you can bring that home to Joyce to tell her you really showed up and you got your blessing tonight. Okay. And let me stand with all of you. Come together. And Joe and Bradley, you're with us too. The Kor Chaim V'Ahava, source of all life and love, how these precious couples come before you, seeking in your presence blessings once more as they make their way after the years they have shared together. Be they many or few, they are special and sacred times. In times of great joy, you have found in each other's company the partner you need to share that joy with. It makes it that much sweeter and that much brighter. And in times of challenges, because what life is it without challenge? We've learned, if we've lived long enough, that life is hard. But you found in each other's presence, too, the one with whom you need to join hands with on that journey. In Yiddish, we sometimes express that if you can't get over the problem, you go around it. But the obligation we have is to pursue and to choose life, to find joy once again. And so as you reflect on all that is past, I hope it's children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, so that the joys of life continue to be yours. On this night, we express our gratitude, and since I couldn't be at your wedding, Joe, where I know that Rabbi Barnston officiated, but we can express the blessing of old, that it will continue to go well with you this night and for many more years to come. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God grant you all that you wish for yourselves and your families with you. May you be blessed with long life, good health, much love, and the greatest blessing of all, years together in peace and friendship. Amen. Mazel tov. it's good to pause and take time to reflect on the joys, the real blessings in our life. Some years ago, when my family was on vacation, my brother and I, we were always together. I have a twin brother, many of you know, and so we were partners together, not in crime, mostly in good things. But we were sent out at this resort vacation to go make friends with other young people like ourselves. And we got into a group of people and we began talking and asking, who are you and what are you? And it came up that we were Jewish. And one young girl took out of her back pocket a picture and said, here's a picture of my God. And I said, how is it that you have a picture of God? You see the bubbling rabbi already beginning in a young man. And she defended her God and I defended my God, and she put the picture back in her back pocket. I just thought it was very odd that she would also sit on a picture of her God. That never really left me until I began to think about the Torah portion this week when we read in Exodus the portion called Truma, because it's there in Truma where we find that the Israelites are building a place to find God's presence. They had already built and labored in Egypt, but now redeemed from Egyptian slavery and bondage, they find themselves in the wilderness. And God, in this particular portion, commands Moses to tell all the people to bring what is necessary to build a mikdash, a sacred place where they could find God's presence. No longer building for Pharaoh, now they were building for truly a sacred purpose. And our Torah portion includes the famous words which are often inscribed on synagogues or even over some holy arks. Asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. Build for me a sanctuary that I may dwell among you. And the whole purpose was to be sure that the Israelite people knew that God would journey with them throughout their life, taking God down from the proverbial mountain, or from their experience, the real mountain, and to be sure that God would journey with them through all of their ways, all of their days, to be sure that they were blessed, guarded, and literally protected. And the Haftarah for this particular Torah portion, which comes from the prophetic book 1 Kings, speaks of Solomon, who made a peace treaty with King Hiram of Tyre and was able to obtain all the goods to build the great temple. And even though that temple was destroyed once and rebuilt and ultimately destroyed again when the Romans came and burned it down in the year 70 CE, it still wouldn't be the end of Judaism, even when the place where we thought we would find God was destroyed. Because God's presence was not manifest in something physical, certainly not a picture or an idol. Ultimately, Judaism prescribed that wherever we would go would be a place where we would find God. And when the temple was finally destroyed, synagogues, the Greek word that described a gathering place for all of us to be, were created wherever Jews might ultimately settle. But we know that even when Jews settled in a community and weren't rich enough to build a building, they gathered in a house. They gathered wherever they could. And even when we visit ancient parts of Europe today, we don't always find the grand cathedrals, as we might call those grand synagogues that once stood. Sometimes we find the remnants of them, where Jews sometimes went in hiding in low basements to pray their prayers, to read their Torah, and to be Jewish. And the rabbis could not have anticipated the way that the Jewish communities would grow in medieval Europe and certainly in modern Europe. In the 1800s and 1900s, when grand synagogues were built, imagine Plum Street Temple in Cincinnati if you've ever been there. There's a wonderful story about that synagogue. When Isaac Mayer Wise designed and erected that building, there was a church across the street. And as the church went up and the synagogue went up, the church had spires that went just a little higher than the synagogue. I didn't know Isaac Mayer Wise, but we can learn a lot from his ambitions because he built the synagogue spire just a little taller.
than the church across the street. And the synagogues in Europe were magnificent edifices that reflected in part the grandeur and our expectations of God's presence in our life. Even our congregation, Beth Israel in Houston, Texas, is a magnificent edifice that reflects the glory of God and all that we would be inspired to do. But I wouldn't be authentic if I didn't admit that the most important setting in a Jewish community isn't really the synagogue itself, but rather the Jewish home. And that's why when Allie and Andrew stood here, I mentioned that it's our hope that they would establish a mikdash ma'at, a small sanctuary, their Jewish home, dedicated to God and Torah and Israel. I've often said that if Judaism isn't happening at home, it isn't happening. And so there is much we can worship and learn about and do because we gather together at Beth Israel and synagogues like it all over the world. But if we go home and do nothing, then Judaism is something that is prized only in this setting and nowhere else. So the rabbis taught long before those great synagogues were built, and certainly long before Beth Israel was organized, even in 1854. They taught in Pirkei Avot that if we're building something, let's be sure that we understand why we are building it. They taught, if you can pray in the synagogue, pray. But if you can't pray in the synagogue, pray in your home, in that mikdash ma'at. And if you're not home, pray in your field. Now, maybe to the rabbis of old, they thought if we're in our field, we were farmers after all. We were growing and cultivating and harvesting. But I don't see any farmers here tonight. We've grown away from the field. But if we are in our field or vocation, the occupation and career where we do cultivate and harvest many returns, we might even bring our prayers and our sense of God's presence to our offices and places where we work, and be mindful of our choices, our decisions, our business ethics, to be sure that even there, though there isn't a holy ark or a Torah, we bring God's presence with us in that place too. And they ended by saying, if you're not in your field, pray in your bed. And I would imagine that they might even imagine, although they didn't travel as easily as we do today, that wherever we go and all the places we reach, even if we're not aiming to be in a synagogue or working in a place where we vacation, in our bed, in our hotel, on our lounge chair by the pool, God's presence follows us to be sure that we are who we need to be and we're mindful of other people who share and are touched by our lives too. Judaism is actually a remarkably personal religion that expects nothing less than a personal relationship with God, whose image is not found in a photograph and tucked into the back pocket that we sit on for safekeeping. Rather, God in Judaism is everywhere to be found. God's presence is felt and imagined individually, even if God cannot be seen. Therefore, God's house is our house, and God's place is wherever we are. The history of the Israelites tells the story of how God came down from that mountain and joined them on their journey. But now the future of the Jewish people relies on us, who will build all the places and find the priorities where we need to find God too. From the congregation where we gather to our beds where we sleep, so that even tonight we'll be reminded, as we close our service in a few minutes, we'll sing Adon Olam. And the last few words of Adon Olam I would love for you to notice are these words: Adonai li v'lo ira. God is with me, I will not fear. As we sing those words and take them with us, we realize that it isn't only here that we find God's presence or a semblance of it, but rather, as long as we remember that God goes with us, we are never truly alone. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be for us and everybody. Amen. Please rise.
As we take our place before the Holy Ark, we are reminded of the origins of the Torah and its teachings, but also the obligation to be sure that the Torah didn't remain at Mount Sinai. It also arrived here, generation after generation, Lador Vador. So it's a great privilege tonight to pass the Torah and its teachings from parents to child.
Ramamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtahavu lahar kodsho ki kadosh Eloheinu. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down towards God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Elhad. Elhad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shmo.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Go stand next to your mother. Done. Oh, thank you. And now in our prayer book, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287 as we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Page 294. We take this time now to call to heart and mind those dear ones who departed this earth and entered the peace of life eternal. It's our custom in the sanctuary to invite you, if you wish, to rise and remain standing as the name of your loved one is called aloud. Afterwards, we'll rise as a congregation to recite the words of Kaddish. Lovingly we remember Rena Rauch, Leonard Rosenberg, who were laid to rest in recent days, And we add the names of those the anniversary of whose death is observed this Shabbat. Tanya Ackerman, Herman Alexander, Nechama Alperovich, Francis Austin, Naum Berliner, Dave Berman, Shepard Brightman, Molly Chapman, Dora Chesnick, Maurice Davidoff, Bernard Demaratsky, Norma Lee Farnell, Louis Foreman, Christine Gavrila, Francis Golden, Mindy Gorel, Dan Gould, Herman Greenberg, Shoel Greenspun, Leah Grossberg, Leonard Grushko, Edmund Hecht, John Hersfeld, William Himmel, Harriet Hines, Annie Kessler, Gertrude Kessler, Shirley Kessler, Bernard Lasky, Herbert Loftman, Beatrice Lempel, Alan Lerner, Alfred Lester, Elise Leston, Harth Levin, Harry Levy, Myrtle Lowenstern, Edith Lurie, Herman Lurie, Herschel Maltz, Theodore Mans, Belle Marks, Irving Marks, Nona Marks, Herman Melcher, Sam Melnick, Dorothy Minchin, Mamie Minchin, Sam Mintz, Ruth Monfort, Robert Naklis, Gladys Nathan, Jacob Neborowski, Minnie Siskin Perlman, Irma Rose Proler, Reba Rauch, Sidney Rinkoff, Isidore Roos, Helen Rosen, Charles Rosenthal, Morris Rosen, George Rothschild, Ted Schneidler, Ben Schreiber, Saul Schwartz, David Shabbat, Isidore Schoss, Ann Silvers, Gerald Simon, Emily Sloan, Clarice Spitz, Eleanor Squires, Betty Struzan, Harry Schwartzberg, Ephraim Tita, Abe Weingarten, Bernice Weingarten, Louis Wellen, Goldie Wiesenthal, Harris Whittles, Beulah Wolf, Leo Wolf, Eugene Zeben, David Ziegler, Selma Zimberoff. In their honor and memory, we rise now as a congregation to recite the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Bi'amad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'yizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam v'lomei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitshomam v'yitnaseh, V'yidadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'Kudashah b'richu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tush b'chata v'nechamata, Damiram v'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'romah, Hu yaseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved among us, as together we say, Amen.
As we have dealt with death as part of life, we turn our attention to Kiddush to sanctify the Sabbath day with the sweetness of the wine. Tonight our B'nai Mitzvah lead us in Kiddush, and we may join them on page 5.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their way. On the seventh day God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor you made the holy Shabbat our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. We therefore raise our cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך Chaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Luann Katz, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice President of Beth Israel's Board of Trustees. Mazel Tov to the family of Harry and Stuart Smith, who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah this Shabbat. Our congregational journey to Israel leaves on May 31st, and we are still accepting more travelers. Please see David Scott for more information. The election of the World Zionist Congress is now open to everyone. This is our chance to appoint delegates who will carry out our Reform Jewish values in Israel, such as equality and religious pluralism. Voting will continue through March 11th, and laptops have been set up in Wolf Tumim Hall to assist you after services. If you have questions, please see our congregational captain, Stanley Horn. This Sunday, the entire community-wide kosher chili cook-off will be held at Congregation Beth Yeshurun's parking lot from 12 to 4. For more information on that, please see President of our Brotherhood, Marcus Latovsky. This Tuesday, our Inclusion Committee will welcome members of the Gathering Place in Wolf Tumim Hall throughout the entire morning for activities, entertainment, and lunch with a rodeo theme. The Gathering Place supports those living with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other illnesses. If you are interested in volunteering for Gathering Place, please see Rabbi Scott. After services, Carol Worley, Bradley Chesnick, and I look forward to welcoming all members and guests to Congregation Beth Israel on behalf of the Board of Trustees. Please join us for our Oneg Shabbat in Wolf Tumim Hall. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll conclude our service this evening as we join together in singing Adon Olam. The words can be found on page 321. Please rise and let's join together in singing.
Adon
closing benediction, please remain in your places for just a moment so that Rabbi Scott and Cantor and I may exit first. We look forward to greeting you at the enrich Shabbat. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, in your presence may we always find all that we need for greater life, for good health, for enduring peace, for us and for all your children everywhere. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us at Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Sharing Shabbat with you is so meaningful to us. Let's join together again very soon. My very best wishes to you for a good week. Shabbat Shalom.